Hi, I'm Libby, the Statue of Liberty. I stand here as an American icon, a symbol of freedom, opportunity, the American dream. But I'm not the only one. There's another symbol on the other side of the country, 9 white letters on a hillside in Los Angeles. The Hollywood sign, everyone knows it, everyone's seen it. But here's something nobody tells you. In 1978, that sign was about to be demolished, torn down completely, gone forever. And the person who saved it? Hugh Hefner. Yes, that, Hugh Hefner, the Playboy magazine guy. He threw a party, got a bunch of celebrities to buy individual letters, and rescued one of America's most famous landmarks from destruction. But that's just the ending. The beginning of the story? Way stranger. Because the Hollywood sign wasn't supposed to be permanent. It wasn't supposed to be famous. It wasn't even supposed to be called Hollywood. Let me tell you what really happened. The year is 1923. Hollywood is growing fast. Silent films are huge. Movie studios are popping up everywhere. But it's still not the entertainment capital of the world yet. A real estate developer named Harry Chandler sees an opportunity. He owns land in the hills above Hollywood. Beautiful views. But there's a problem. Nobody wants to buy property way up there. Too remote, too difficult to reach. No roads, no infrastructure. Chandler needs to sell houses, so he decides to build the biggest advertisement anyone's ever seen. Hollywoodland. Not Hollywood, Hollywoodland. That was the name of his housing development. 13 letters, each one 50 feet tall. Made of wood and sheet metal, covered with 4,000 light bulbs that could flash in sequence. At night, you could see it glowing from miles away. It cost $21,000 to build. That's about $350,000 today. And here's the key detail. It was designed to last exactly 18 months, just long enough to sell the houses. Then they'd tear it down. But here's the thing about symbols. Sometimes they take on a life you never planned. Sometimes they refuse to disappear. The 18 months pass, the houses sell. But the sign stays up. Why? Because something's happening in Hollywood. The movie industry explodes. Talkies replace silent films. Stars like Charlie Chaplin, Greta Garbo, and Clark Gable become household names. Hollywood becomes the Hollywood, the dream factory, the place where nobodies become somebodies. And that advertisement on the hill? It accidentally becomes the most recognizable landmark in entertainment. Photographers include it in shots. Postcards feature it. Tour guides point to it. But it's still just a real estate ad. Nobody's maintaining it. Nobody's protecting it. The company that built it doesn't care anymore. The wood starts rotting, the lights stop working, and then something terrible happens that changes how people see those letters forever. September 16th, 1932, late at night. A young woman climbs the maintenance ladder of the letter H. Her name is Peg Entwistle. She's 24 years old. She came to Hollywood from New York to become a star. She was a successful stage actress back east. But Hollywood? Hollywood rejected her. She got exactly one role in one movie called 13 Women. She thought it would be her big break, but the studio cut most of her scenes. The movie flopped. Nobody wanted to hire her after that. She's heartbroken, desperate, out of money, and she makes a terrible decision. She climbs that ladder, 50 feet up, and she jumps. A hiker finds her body 2 days later at the base of the sign. Her suicide note, found in her purse, says, "I'm afraid I am a coward. I am sorry for everything. If I had done this a long time ago, it would have saved a lot of pain." This is the dark side of Hollywood that nobody puts in the movies. The dreams that don't come true. The people who get destroyed chasing fame. The sign that promised success and stardom took a life instead. People start looking at those 13 letters differently after that. The decades pass. The sign continues decaying. In 1949, the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce makes a deal with the city. They'll maintain the sign if they can remove the land part. It's too expensive to maintain all 13 letters, so now it just says Hollywood, but maintain is a generous word. They barely do anything. The wood rots. Termites eat through the supports. Weather tears at the sheet metal. By the 1960s, the first O has completely fallen down. someone replaces it with a cheap wooden substitute. By the 1970s, it's a disaster. An embarrassment. The third O looks like a lowercase u. The second L has collapsed. The H is leaning dangerously. It literally reads, HuLLYWO D. Tourists still come to photograph it, but it's becoming a joke. Late-night comedians make fun of it. People call it an eyesore. The city of Los Angeles looks at this rotting, dangerous structure and makes an official decision. Tear it down. It's not worth saving. It costs too much to fix. Let's just demolish it and be done with this. But then someone very unexpected steps in. Hugh Hefner. Yes, that Hugh Hefner. The Playboy magazine founder, living in his famous mansion, at the absolute peak of his influence and wealth. You'd think he has better things to worry about than a falling-apart sign. But Hefner grew up in Chicago, dreaming about Hollywood. To him, that sign means something. It represents possibility, reinvention, the idea that you can transform yourself and become someone bigger. When he hears they're planning to demolish it, he doesn't just complain. He acts. March 1978. Hefner announces he's hosting a fundraising party at the Playboy Mansion. And he has a brilliant idea. Celebrities can adopt individual letters. Each letter costs $27,500 to completely rebuild. The party happens. It's packed with celebrities, musicians, actors, wealthy donors. And the letters get adopted fast. Alice Cooper buys an O in memory of Groucho Marx, who just died. Gene Autry, the singing cowboy, buys an L. Andy Williams buys a W. Warner Brothers Studios buys 2 letters. Hugh Hefner himself buys the Y. Within a few months, they raise all the money, $250,000. Every single letter is spoken for. They don't repair the old sign. They completely demolish it and rebuild from scratch. New design, steel structure instead of wood, 45 feet tall instead of 50, earthquake resistant, built to last a century, painted pristine white. On November 11, 1978, they unveil the new Hollywood sign. Huge celebration, fireworks, celebrities, news coverage. The sign that was supposed to last 18 months gets a second life, and this time, the city protects it. They make it an official historic landmark. They install security systems, cameras, motion detectors. They pass strict laws against vandalism. The sign isn't just surviving anymore. It's permanent. Today, the Hollywood sign is one of the most photographed landmarks on Earth. Millions of tourists visit every year trying to get the perfect shot. It represents dreams, ambition, stardom, possibility. American entertainment. When you see those 9 letters, you think of movies, celebrities, and making it big. But think about what it actually is. A real estate advertisement from 1923 that accidentally became meaningful, nearly got demolished, and was saved by a magazine publisher. You know what this reminds me of? My own story. I almost didn't make it either. I sat in crates in France, unwanted, almost scrapped for metal. Someone unexpected saved me too. A newspaper publisher named Joseph Pulitzer. And Peg Entwistle, that actress who jumped? She was looking for the same thing the immigrants I welcomed were seeking. A better life, a chance, the American dream. Sometimes that dream works out, sometimes it destroys you. But the symbols remain. The Hollywood sign stopped being just an advertisement the moment people started attaching meaning to it. When Peg jumped, it became about desperation and broken dreams. When Hefner saved it, it became about preservation and cultural value. Now, it means whatever people need it to mean. That's how symbols work. They start as one thing and become something completely different because people need them to mean something bigger. An 18-month real estate ad became a permanent icon because people decided it mattered. Just like a gift from France became Lady Liberty because Americans decided I mattered. We both almost disappeared. But we're still here. And honestly, the fact that Playboy magazine saved the Hollywood sign might be the most Hollywood story of all. I'm Libby, and now you know the truth about those 9 letters on the hill.